Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to return back to Poland and take a look at one of their 24-hour SRGs. Now this is the SRG 7. It's a 24-hour pack and contains 3 meals. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. So, as you can see, I now have this Polish 24-hour SRG Menu 7 on the table, and the first thing that we see is a very large bag, and it contains ingredients in Polish, British or English and French. Now looking down here, it gives you a full set of meal contents. It says the mains for meal A is specialty pork, a Mexican chicken stew. For meal B there is pork rolls and rusks, and menu 3 or C, pork and gravy crisp breads. So apart from that there is a whole host of other content, so let's have a look what this pack actually contains. So very large, very heavy, impressive looking pack. This particular one expired nearly 2 years ago, so it's nearly 2 years out of date. Expired in 2018, so it'll be interesting to see how well the contents have held up. So just like the US MREs, nice large bag, same consistency, but obviously this one is quite a lot larger. I'm just going to bring in a knife to open up the top here. I think my knife is starting to be in the need of a little bit of sharpening. So straight off the top, impressive looking contents, and I'm just going to pull them out, try and decipher as I go. So first off, there's an impressive looking accessory pack, and I think I shall open that straight off, see what it contains. It's sealed. That knife definitely does need sharpening. It's getting a little bit on the dull side, nothing more dangerous than a dull knife. So in here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 paper waxed cups. There is 2 salt, 2 peppers. There is 3 xylitol chewing gums. There is 3 vitamin C candies, and these are going a little bit sticky. They are a little bit out of date now. There is 3 coffee candies or sweets. There is some napkins or tissues, TPs. There is 1, 2 Ziploc bags and a 3rd looser bag. My fingers are quite sticky. Some of those vitamin C candies have gone quite sticky. I think I'm going to have to sort those out. There is 3 wet naps. I think these are coffees, 2 coffees, and a large 10 gram of white sugar. So a lot of accessories in that little pack there. Then we also have some cutlery sets. There is 1, 2, 3 full sets of cutlery, 1 for each meal. We have some crisp breads. I think that is another packet there of crisp bread, so there are 2 packs of crisp breads. We have a stove and fuel tablets. Let's put this to one side. Just need to make sure I've got room for all of the contents here. Now as I get down to the mains, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to decipher which are which. Now this feels like there's a little bit of a lump there. I'm just hoping it's not compromised. No, I think that might be the pork, specialty pork maybe. I shall do a proper translate of these. There is another one of the mains, whether that might be these pork rolls. Again, as I just said, I will translate properly before. There is the 3rd one of the mains, might be the Mexican chicken stew. There is another damaged mains there. Again, could be the pork and gravy. but I'm not sure will translate. And I'll keep moving things over. There is a large bar of chocolate with 60% cocoa, 100-gram bar, very nice. We have some dehydrated or dried fruits. Try and keep all of these in shot. I'm aware I'm running out of space. We have 2 more packets of the hardtack rusk biscuits. Let's put those there. There is, I think this is a fig bar, fruit bar. You can get them all on. I'm struggling to fit everything on the table. We are still going. We have, I think that is a pot of jam in a separate Ziploc bag. We also have some honey in a separate Ziploc bag. I'm starting to dig down deep now, find the last of the few contents. There is 1, 2, 3. These are fruit flavoured teas, different flavoured teas. 2, 3. There is also a second menu sheet with the recommended meals. And there is 2 more instant teas, so there is actually 5 fruit instant teas there. And that is finally the contents of this very impressive 24-hour meal pack. So let's get these on a tray and see what they look and taste like, and rejoin me for what I would consider, or the pack would tell me, is breakfast. So, as you can see, I now have here on the tray the first meal of this pack, which I would consider breakfast. I'm going to actually follow the menus suggested on the packet there. It does suggest menu meal A, so I'm following that one there with the Mexican chicken stew. I wouldn't call this a traditional breakfast from my part of the world, but it is. I've got the Mexican chicken stew, which I have boiled in hot water, cracked the lid, and the label has came off, so I've just put the label on the top there. We have the speciality pork, which I believe is a luncheon meat. Now I prefer my luncheon meats cold. I know a lot of people warm these up. I've opened the knife, fork, spoon set. In this particular one, there was a small spoon. I have another one here, a little tiny spoon, but it had shattered, I think, by the weight of the tins in the pack there. So I've just got a standard knife, fork, spoon and a little serviette. We have the fruits of the forest tea, some honey and some crisp breads. So start where I normally like to start. There is a coffee, but I'm following the menu suggestion, so I'm just going to have the fruit of the tea. I'll probably have the coffee for the second meal. So, sorry, fruits of the forest tea. I do know you can mix these with hot or cold water, so I shall mix this one with the cold, and then the next one I'll have with a hot. So, nice large looking pink granules. Just pour that into the glass there. As you can see, nice and large, and we'll just this time use the spoon and some cold water just to make a cold drink for the morning. As I say, there is coffee, but I'll do the coffee in the next meal. And just give this a good stir. They're quite large granules, I'm sure they're going to take a lot of dissolving. In fact, they're having difficulty dissolving, so I'll just give that a second or two to soften up a little bit. Just clean my spoon there. Next along, I think we're going to take a look at this speciality pork. Now this is a pork luncheon meat. We do have luncheon meat here in the UK, so it's very similar looking, a little bit more paler than what we might have here in the UK, but it's a very similar looking spam luncheon meat style meat. Now I'm going to have a look at the Mexican chicken stew. Let's move the label out of the way. As I said, you would heat this on the stove that came with it. This one I boiled, Oh, very, very hot. Very, very hot. And I've got a dish here to pour it into, because I did notice it was quite moist looking. So I'll just pour that out of the tin there. Wow, huge piece of chicken. Huge piece of chicken. And then I think we're going to have a look at the honey. So we just, that's very crystalline and very congealed, but as we know by now, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing with honey. And we'll look at the crisp breads. Bearing in mind these are 2 years past their best before date now, so it'll be interesting to see how the crisp breads in particular have stood up. There's a nice packet there of crisp breads, which will just take a couple out of there for now. They are a little bit broken, a little bit smashed, as you would expect. They have been in there a long time, but overall pretty decent looking for the time they've been in that packet. And I also have a wet wipe and one of the xylitol gums to freshen the breath. Now there was 3 gums, 3 coffee sweets, 3 fruit sweets, so I'll try those over different meals, but for the breakfast I'm just going to try the gum. Okay, so start off where I started. Let's have a look at this fruit of the forest tea. Oh, that's mild, that's delicate. There's not a lot of colouring in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's not overly coloured, which is nice. It's gentle, delicate, not overly sweet. Nice, refreshing, mixed fruit. Artificial fruit, but it's done very nicely. Now, I think I'm going to go straight to the mains. And wow. Oops, wow. There is an absolutely huge chunk of chicken there. That's one of the largest pieces of chicken I've seen in any ration. And there is another one there, absolutely huge. Very nice, very large chicken pieces. I am going to need a knife for this one, and I think we'll just take a little piece of that chicken first. Wow. That is a large chunk in itself, but it's very soft, very tender. It just broke apart. It's soft, it's tender, it falls apart in your mouth, but it still has texture. I think it might be leg meat, although possibly breast. There's a large piece there. Very delicate gravy. Let's go back to the spoon. It's very difficult to know which ones to have just for the demonstration. So I can see sweet corn in there, a couple of carrots. That looks like it might be a bean, a red kidney bean. So there's carrots, beans and tomatoes, sweet corn. Very mild gravy. With it saying Mexican, I was expecting a bit of chili kick. There is no chili kick. It's just like a basic chicken stew flavour. But that said, there is herbs in there, there is salt in there, there is pepper in there. There was no extra salt and pepper for a ration this size, which I thought was unusual. But that is just seasoned enough with salt, pepper, mixed herbs. The sweet corn still has some crunch to it, but not too much. It's just al dente, just cooked. The other vegetables are quite soft. But it is a huge chicken piece portion. Absolutely huge. I've never seen portions of meat that size in a ration before, but it's very nice, very tasty, very enjoyable. It's nice and soft. I think there's a bit of chicken fat there, a bit of chicken skin, so the whole part of the chicken has gone in there. Very nice, very tasty, very enjoyable. So where do I go now? I think we'll take a look at the luncheon meat. So it's the speciality pork. It is a pork luncheon meat. It's quite soft, softer than a normal luncheon meat we have here in the UK. Similar sort of texture though, to look at it as a luncheon meat in the UK, or a spam. We'll taste that on the fork, on the spoon, on the knife. it's soft. It's not as firmly set as a Spam or a Luncheon Meat usually is. It's quite soft. Obviously nowhere as near as soft as a pate. A little bit salty. Not a lot of salt. Most meats have a lot more salt than this. Spam I would probably say has 5 times the amount of salt. Very, very mild on the salt, but you can taste there's a little bit of salt there. Very little flavouring otherwise. Just a very easy going, light meat loaf, bit of meatloaf. Try a bit on the cracker. Crisp bread. It's still fresh, still crispy, still crunchy. 2 years past its best before date. Went well as a base for the Luncheon Meat on its own. Nice, crisp, snap, very light. Just a basic rye bread, rye cracker. I don't think it's wheat, I think this is a rye cracker. Very nice, very simple, very simplistic, very light, but still in exceedingly good condition for 2 years past its best before. Try a little bit as the background for the stew. Nice, simple background, bit of extra calories just to soak up some of that. And gravy. Nice, simple, tasty. I think before I go in the honey I need to do a bit of cleaning off. So let's clean off some of these knives. I have used all the cutlery just to try the stew. I'll just have a look at the honey now. Crystalline. I'm just going to use the handle of the knife as a stirrer just to get some of those crystals. Obviously if I warm this up, put it in the water, it would have thinned down. Okay, but there is enough of the softer honey there. Let's try a little bit on the end of the handle there. As all honey, sweet. You can actually taste the flowers. You can taste the nectar. Very sweet, starting to crystalline. Very good quality honey. Taste the flowers, taste the countryside. Obviously these bees had access to a lot of different flowers and that's actually coming out in the flavour. Good quality honey, a little bit crystalline. Try a little bit on the cracker, a little bit of honey on the cracker, make a sort of sweet pudding dessert. Good, all round, light, crisp bread, universally acceptable on the sweet, on the savouries, as a base for the pâtés. Getting a little bit sticky, so let's have a look at one of the wet naps there. So there's 3 wet naps in the pack. On opening I can smell lemon. There is a lemon sort of scent coming from that. Not very strong, already ripping as I try and open it. There is a lemon scent, a sort of detergent lemon, kitchen cleaner lemon sort of smell. Give that a wipe. Not the best quality, not the wettest. Does leave a slight lemon scent on your fingers, but I don't think these are, if your hands were dirty, we're talking soldiers, troops out in the field, their hands would be absolutely caked up in mud and who knows what. Not one of the best for cleaning, but it did the job to remove a little bit of sticky honey. Just refresh my palate. Very light, very simple. And we'll have a look at one of these little xylitol mint gums. 2 little briquettes. Let's try one, there is 2 in the packet. Straight away, strong mint flavour, sweet, crispy outer shell, soft gum underneath, not a coarse gum. Very nice, very refreshing, very nice minty mouth cleansing piece of gum. Just have to remove that. So, quick recap.
The fruit tea, light, delicate, difficult to dissolve, but not overly coloured. It's refreshing. A nice palate cleanser. The chicken Mexican stew, huge pieces of meat. All of the chicken is in there. There is skin in there, there is fat in there, but the bulk of it is huge chunks of the meat. Chicken, which is tender, nice and tender, but still has texture. The stew, being Mexican, I thought would be slightly spicy, but there is no heat there. There is no chili or any hint of that. It is just like a good chicken stew with a gravy. Sweet corn, there is beans in there. That's why it's called Mexican, because it has the red beans, the red kidney beans. There was a couple of carrots. Overall, nice, tasty, very filling stew, nice and warming. The luncheon meat, softer than a Spam meatloaf or a luncheon meat we used to hear in the UK, but obviously not as soft as a pate, a sort of in between. It's not overly flavoured. Might, in my opinion, benefit with a little bit more pepper. Certainly just salted. Not a lot of flavour, but again, it's just a good all-round basic Spam luncheon meat style sort of meat. Certainly not offensive, and most people should find that pleasant. The honey, crystalline. If we warmed it up, it would have melted. As it is, very good quality honey. Certainly those bees visited a lot of flowers. There was a very strong flower nectar taste, which is nice. It's not off-putting in any way. It just comes across as a good quality, good flavoured honey. Crisp breads, 2 years past their best before date, still crisp, still light. I think the rye bread, I think they're made of rye, not wheat. Good basic background cracker, which went with sweets, savouries, meats. Good addition to the ration. The gum, refreshing, crisp, very high mint oils content, nice, refreshing, cleansing. So I'm going to leave it here for this is the first meal of the 24-hour pack. Please join me in the next video where I'll take a look at the lunch and dinner components. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.